Well, hello there, everyone. I am Katrina Latrice Williams, and I am coming back at you all with some natural wisdom, information that I was speaking with another lovely human being, Miss Ilyasa Simpson, today. It was just amazing, the conversation that me and her had. And it was so amazing, I had to cut a video to share with the world because I told her, if I had known that at the age of 18, I may have started making wiser decisions at that time. However, everything happens for a reason. I don't regret anything, and you shouldn't either. But I just had to share this aha moment with everyone. And today, the topic is going to be about breaking those chains. You must break those chains that you have on your mindset, your physical body, your mental, everything. How are we going to break those chains? Now, first and foremost, we must understand what the changes are before we can just, up and make a change. A lot of times when we don't know things, or even if we act like we know them, but we don't fully understand them, that's when confused people don't do anything. And the first chain we're going to break is understanding that we don't know what we don't know. And once we understand that and we can accept that, then we can move forward. So hopefully you are someone that have already accepted that and we can go ahead and move forward. But for those of you that are not willing to accept that, once you are ready to move forward, come on back. Now, moving forward, what are the chains? It's the mark of the beast, everyone. We're going to keep it real today. There's no need to sugarcoat anything because regardless if you know it or not, things are happening and they already been told from a long time ago in the Bible. You can go and read it yourself. The struggles we're going through, those are chains. The suffering, people are being diagnosed with cancer. People are going and leaving, losing everything for many different reasons. And we're not saying it's your fault, but at the same time, you reap what you sow. And a lot of times we just don't know what we don't know. It's the unbalance that's going on. I was just talking with a client today about global warming. It's the unbalance in the earth atmosphere. It's the unbalance in the economic area that we have here in America. There's more rich than the poor. It's a huge gap between the rich and the poor. It's an unbalance. It's an unbalance in understanding the slavery. We see the movies and we hear about the stories in the Bible, and we even see, what's going on in America. The slavery that went on from back in the day, there's an unbalance there. All of it becomes trauma. There's different types of trauma. And this is where we're going to get deeper and deeper, everyone. I know I don't have much time. If I go over it, I'll definitely make another video to add to it. But out of all these different things, all the chains that are on us, the chains that we don't really see. People think that, oh, I don't have no physical chains on me. I've never been to jail, right? That's what you're thinking right now. I need for you to think deeper. I need for you to really understand that this is a major aspect in your life. And it's been going on in your life for a very long time, even mine, but I was able to wake up to it and I am here to talk to you today. Now, so let's go deeper into what is trauma. I know we've probably heard that in the hospital many of times, but I believe there's different types of trauma. According to Google, as we all see, it's a deeply distressing or disturbing experience. So think about it. Deeply going past, breaking your arm, but you literally like it was chopped off, like deeply, like going into your heart, going into your soul, your conscious of things that no one knows, secrets, deep, distressing or disturbing experiences. And uh, according to the American Psychological Association, it's an emotional response. So that is all connected to your aura, your spirit, your physical body, your flesh, things that you can feel, but also things that you don't see and uh, don't necessarily fully understand. Now, my thoughts on it is deeper than just your physical state, but it affects your mental and your spiritual state. And there's levels of trauma. We have heavy trauma because I don't even feel like there's light trauma. You have heavy trauma. For example, it could be verbal abuse or even certain types of physical abuse, people pushing on you, bullying, different things like that. Heavy trauma. Then you have major trauma, physical and mental abuse, slavery, for example, even physical abuse of different third world countries, the government treating their people different types of ways. Children being sold into, all type of different things from death. There's all type of different traumas, injury, uh, like I said, verbal abuse. And think about it. Think about, let me talk to the entrepreneurs right now. I want you to really understand what you could do to fix your business, to help advance your business to the next level. Because we have to look within. It's like what Michael Jackson said, the man in the mirror. Look at yourself because you are a reflection of what's going on in your outside external world. You have an internal world and an external world. So think about, maybe you are someone that had verbal abuse growing up. People always said negative things to you. Oh, you're never going to be anything. Your father wasn't anything. Or, your mother wasn't anything. Or whatever negative things that really traumatized you as a child, right? It hurt you to your heart. You will never forget it. You're probably even thinking about it right now. You will never forget that person's face. You will never forget how they said it to you, what they did to you. It traumatized you as a child. The verbal, the physical, the mental, the spiritual, whatever it could have been. Your pastor could have done something to you and it traumatized you and it made you not want to ever go to a church again. There are different level of trauma. Think about the entrepreneurs where you may have been told all your life that you was never going to be anything. Maybe you didn't finish school. Maybe you didn't get that degree you worked hard on. Maybe it just didn't work out, right? And it traumatized you in the mind. It puts so much stress on you to the point to where it affects your today. And I'm here to let you know to break those chains. You must break those chains because there's going to always be death. People, it's, it, I, we apologize for the things that happens and we don't understand and we don't believe that is fair to us. But we must break those chains because it becomes generational curses where it will not only be passed down through your life, but your children's 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 life if you don't break the generation curse now. Break those chains. There's so many different examples of trauma as you all can see. Let me give you some more examples of trauma. It could be trauma to the brain, trauma to your physical body within where you don't even see it. Look at that trauma. Oh, someone just having an emergency surgical airway right then and there. Those are examples of trauma, everyone. So with us understanding the examples of trauma, we know what trauma is now. How can we break those chains? How does it add bondage into our lives? Well, the results of trauma, it varies per person. There's different side effects. Just like if something is going on with you medically, right? You go to the doctor, you're diagnosed with something that maybe other people are diagnosed with. You take the same type of medicine, stuff is, prescribed to you, but you have some of the side effects. It may not be all of the side effects, but it may be some of the side effects, reactions, and actions. Now, it causes emotional damage, mental damage, physical damage, as well as spiritual damage in everyone. Examples of emotional damage. You may have low self-esteem. I had low self-esteem as a cancer survivor at 1 year old, having cancer, going through radiation and chemotherapy. my side effects with low self-esteem. I was afraid to let other people know I had cancer when I was a baby. I was afraid to show them my scars, on my arms of the leftover radiation that burnt my skin as a child that I didn't have, but I did not know. And that traumatized me as a child. And I had to recognize that, you know what, I can't keep letting things trigger my emotions where I feel like, people are making fun of me, or is not right, or people are going to talk about me because of this. I have to break those mental and emotional chains. The mental damage is unable to think accurately. You have racing thoughts of what's going on, or what people are going to think about you, or whatever it is. Your physical damage, the things that may have actually hit you physically that damaged you. You may have a gunshot wound. You may have someone that had beat on you. Just so many different traumas that we all experience, everyone. We all go through the same thing. We all have been through the same thing. We all will go through the same thing. But our goal right now is to break those generational curses, break those chains, the spiritual damage. You have to break it. And that's being unfaithful. That's having a loss of dreams. That's being distracted, from God and not really knowing what His will for your life is. But listen, how are we going to break them? We then have to understand the aftermath of trauma, the side effects, which we already talked about. Think about Michael Jackson. Literally, he was being, accused of acting like a child, but he really was mentally. He was forced to grow up, at a very young age, and he lost his childhood. So he always remained in his child ways. It's okay to be childlike, but it's not okay to be childish. And you have to understand when to break those chains to move to the next level. And definitely, may Michael Jackson rest in peace. He was the greatest of all time when it comes to pop. Now, everyone, I want to let you know that it's about breaking those chains. You have to accept your trauma. You have to accept the flaws that you have in your life. Yes, it has happened. You're not perfect. No one is perfect. Everything will not go as planned as 100%, but it's okay. You can continue to forgive yourself, forgive those that have done wrong to you so that you can be forgiven. Change your thoughts, change your actions and your decisions about the trauma. Yes, it happened. Accept it and now move forward. How can I make myself better? When your emotions start to flare up because someone triggered based on something that happened in your past, you have to discipline your disappointment. Evaluate your childhood, your teen years, and your early years of, being 20 years old. And then evaluate your current life and write down your weaknesses and strengths. Matter of fact, everyone do a SWOT analysis tonight on your life. Plan, but don't be hard on yourself. It's all about the one above, the Almighty. It's all about its timing. Yes, you put it into the atmosphere, but work towards it. And by you working towards it, it will come to you. But you must believe and you must work towards it. Even if you don't believe now, just start working towards it until you believe. Create a new plan for your success that you already have if you're already successful. But for those of you that have the weaknesses and you don't understand, create new solutions. And everyone, that is how you're going to be able to start breaking those chains. It's not going to happen overnight. But if you break those chains, you will be able to see a new tomorrow, a new day, everyone. I'm letting you know. For example, let's just quickly talk about education. We may have all been raised up to go to school, get a good job, and retire and be married happily ever after, but it don't happen like that. That is not what's going on in 2016. Inflation is high. People don't have $1,000 in their savings account to do whatever they desire, and they are not happy at the job. I'm letting you know there's so many different ways. I have access to ways to better your credit because that is one of the ways that will help you move forward. Listen to this. Unfortunately, as youngsters, the majority of us were not provided the knowledge or essential tools to understand the importance of a credit score or how valuable that credit score would be to accomplish just about anything. So, with that being said, everyone, we must understand that education is not only about going to school and getting that degree, but it's about financial education. And I'm here to let you know the start to breaking those chains once you accept all the trauma is to start working on your financial future so that you can live a free life. Connect with me, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and just let's talk about bettering our lifestyles and living life to the fullest. Thanks so much for your time, and I hope this helped. Please share.